Hello, everybody. This is Alan Fine, and my guest today is Carmen Roig, who is the Senior Vice President, Marketing and Sales for Crystal. And we are going to talk about a lot of things related to a lot of things that everyone's talking about. And this is Insider Travel Report. Carmen, first of all, how are you? Tell us where you are. Tell us what's going on in your world with you and your family.
Alan, that's so sweet. I guess I could be asking you the same. How are you doing? And I trust that you're safe, healthy, and well. That's all that matters, right?
We are great. We are great.
Excellent.
And
Excellent.
so, same for you.
It's a new normal. Yes. So I am coming to you, unlike, you that have a beautiful office, I actually am in my dining room because I think it's week 6 of virtual working from home. But you know, first world problems to have. We are blessed. So I'm in cruise capital of the world, Miami. So, the virtual screen you see behind me, that's the actual view from my 49th floor. So I get to see every day those beautiful ships that are my passion. So good to be safe and healthy and happy and
All right.
positive, the most important thing.
So let's talk about Crystal operations right now. Where are all the ships? Where are all the
Yeah.
crews?
Yeah.
We got ocean, river, expedition, yacht. There's a lot to talk about.
A lot to talk about. So thank you for the opportunity. So obviously, we, along with the entire cruise industry, have voluntarily, obviously, stopped operations, and we did that. As a matter of fact, I believe the Serenity ended her world cruise in Perth early, right? So we had to disembark. That was in March. So literally, when you talk about the timing, all of the ships, so both the ships, Serenity and Symphony, are in Asia. Symphony happens to be in a scheduled dry dock, so it just happens to be perfect timing.
Right.
The river ships, they're still in winter layup. We never had them out of winter layup. And then the beautiful little crystal yacht, Esprit, is actually on her way to what the destination will be. So hopefully when she arrives to do her Venice, Dubrovnik round trip itineraries. And then the Endeavor, you touch upon the Endeavor, and you're probably going to want to touch upon it more because we were supposed to, she was in the shipyard, which the shipyard's in Germany, owned by our parent company, and she was supposed to be ready August 10th. So we were actually going to do a christening in Tokyo before the Olympics on August 9th. And we had to announce a couple of weeks ago, because the shipyard has taken a pause for 4 weeks, effective March 23rd, that we have to delay the ship. So right now we've literally canceled all voyages through October 31st. And then come November, I pray that we can bring her out because she has been very much anticipated by our Crystal Society members and our travel partner community alike. I can't wait.
Now, what about the cruise?
The cruise. So all the crew that we could send home, we have. There's limited crew. So we don't have anybody on, obviously, river because we never came out of cold layup or winter layup. The ocean ships both have a minimal crew, so literally just for operational purposes. Same thing with Esprit, it's just basic crew on board. And then those crew members that we could not get home safely because their countries weren't allowing them back, some of those have remained on board, and they're being very well taken care of.
Not a bad place to be.
I wish I was on a cruise right now. I don't care if it goes nowhere, frankly.
We're all dealing with the finances. How do you manage this? What percentage of the employees are able to be retained, and how many in furlough? How's that working?
Right.
How do you
So
manage that?
yeah, it's, this is not unique to just Crystal. It's really the whole industry. I think in this whole thing, the whole hospitality industry has been affected. This has been very, very, I mean, if you would tell me in 39 years in this business that I would ever see ships not cruising, I would have told you absolutely not, Alan. That would never happen. And yet here we are. It's surreal. So we had to make, and have to make, all of us do, tough decisions, difficult decisions, that we have to furlough certain employees, and we've had to actually, lay off some employees as well. That's just the reality because you have a fiduciary responsibility of the company.
So
So
now you
welcome them
talked
back.
about being leaner and meaner, and
Yes.
what is cruising going to look like?
Wow. I'll tell you, what is cruising going to look like? It will depend on how governments, destinations, and specifically for us here, obviously in the US, CDC requirements, right? Because they've got this 100-day pause. I'll tell you, I think cruising has gotten a very bad rap. I'm trying to be politically correct, Alan, but I'll tell you, I was really upset. I'm upset because we need the voice of the industry to stand up and realize the industry, cruising for the many years, has higher safety protocols than anybody else. We self-report. We
Higher
go
than
above and
hospital.
beyond. Absolutely. and at the end of the day, we've gotten this horrible media bad rap. And I'll tell you, I personally, I wish they would ask me, because I would cruise on a ship. And even though when we come out of it, there will be some restrictions. Obviously, we already taken safety and health protocols. Matter of fact, because of COVID-19, we've updated and gone above and beyond. But I think at this point, we have to hear, I mean, I'll tell you, because of social distancing alone, I would imagine, first of all, for us, you won't see self-serve buffets. You're going to have our crew do it. Social distance. And by the way, all cruise lines have heavy sanitation. When have you ever gone into a beautiful onboard restaurant and not have, let's sanitize every 5 seconds? When you leave our bathrooms, we have those little tissues to open the doors. I mean, this is constant, and it's not just on Crystal. This industry has gotten a very bad rap, and I think it's time we stand up. And literally, I think CLIA's negotiating still with CDC. What will that look like? I don't have all the answers, but I'll tell you, whatever we need to do, we will do, because this is the highest guest satisfaction vacation of anything out there, and we're too strong. It's as
I have been
simple as that.
talking to a lot of people, and we're talking about, for example, the we take for granted now the way we board planes, which before 9/11 was
Mhm.
entirely different,
Of
and it's just the
course.
new normal.
Yep.
And
Yep.
so there will
But
be a
this
new
is
normal for cruising,
there
whatever
will
that.
be, but whatever it's going to take, we're going to do. I had a funny a travel partner text me saying, "Is that this too shall pass for real? Are you really that positive with your carpe diem and your seize the day?" And I said, "I am. I really believe it genuinely in my heart of hearts." And I know not everybody feels the same way, and that's okay. We're all different. But I'll tell you what, whoever wants to take this ride with us in the future, it's going to be very, very different. But I'll tell you what, it'll be safer, and we will persevere. It's as simple as that. Right now, again, remember, pivot, flexible. If they come back and they extend this 100 days beyond July, we can get back to service with just 2 weeks, provided there's commercial flights to get the crew back. We're good. River is easy because it's all Europeans and they're there, so we can get it out of layup pretty quickly. The ocean, it takes about 2 weeks. And Endeavor until we get the ship back, Alan. So that'll probably be, right now we're saying starting service, the first voyage is November 14th.
Well, let's talk about how are you working with travel advisors? How are you getting them to, they've got to train and they've got to teach their clients what the new future is and get them comfortable with it.
Correct. And there's a lot of changes, right? So we took some really interesting initiatives at the beginning, really to help our travel partners. I think, listen, they have to believe, they have to have confidence, right? It's about transparency. Cross your T's, dot your I's, know your brands. Now more than ever, brand knowledge, know the products that you're selling, right? And know the portfolio so that you're selling from a position of confidence. But again, just like there's pent up desire, they a consumer sentiment, they want transparency and they want communication. So some folks have gone radio silence. That is not the approach. Now more than ever, you've got to be empathetic, because this is a mourning process, and I think our travel partners have gone through it as well, right? But you cannot be paralyzed by fear. You just can't. You have to ease into it. Everybody's different.
But let's talk about, so how have the rebookings gone and your policies for that? How many
Perfect.
people have been able to, I mean, hopefully they've been postponing and not canceling. Tell us
Correct.
about that aspect.
So obviously all of us, when we've canceled and the voyage is canceled by Crystal, we've provided 100% refund option, or they take a future cruise credit, it's 125%. So we've given them an extra incentive. Again, don't cancel, book later and postpone. So a high degree, we have a high repeater degree. So a high degree of our bookings have rebooked for 21 and 22. But what we did at the beginning is created what we called and branded Crystal Confidence, so that we actually allow, them to cancel up to 8 days before start of service, and that they can get their money back, right? So we also extended some full payment deadlines, made it closer and back to 90 days. So we've created things to give them confidence, but we went a step further. So I always love to talk to our Crystal Partner Advisory Council, because their feedback is critical. I don't like making decisions in a vacuum. So we listen to them, and I also listen to our own guests, because some of our guests are in direct communication with me, and I think it's important that we have that kind of dialogue to understand when they're comfortable to travel again. And what they said to me was interesting. They said, we're not cruising. Nobody's on a ship now. What would really be great is if you could bring your onboard booking program, which is that open promotion. It's an open passage. That program, bring it to shore. None of us are cruising. Give us the same opportunity. Make it a deposit that's minimal. It doesn't have to 25% deposit, just a minimum of $500 per person deposit. It's an open passage for our travel partners. I call it the now and later because it's kind of like of our travel partner stimulus. We pay them commission on that deposit. Guests have until the end of till March of 21 to make their decision, and they can book through 2022. So again, they're not ready to book now. That's not, but can I tell you, we launched it 3 weeks ago. 75% of these open passages, once they book them, have been converted to cruises already.
But it locks the savings.
Completely. 2.5%. Applicable to everything, by the way, Alan. So we made it very, very, I say keep it simple, salesperson. We wanted to make sure, because you've got, again, transparency is critical right now with consumer sentiment. Make sure that that 2.5% is what they would only exclusively get when they book on board. Now we allow them to, not on board, you're on land, we're going to give you the same offer. And then what we adjusted is to make sure that we're paying commission on the deposit. And if you look at the $500 deposit, some of our travel partners, per person on these open passages, they sell some contemporary brands that's the entire cost of the cruise, and this is only their deposit. So it's an easy way to at least re-engage their clients, to have something positive to talk about, to overcome those objections, saying you don't have to lock in a voyage now. You actually just have to make this open passage. You're still going to get all of the, percentages and the discounts and the savings. Nothing's off limits, and yet you have time to choose and to make that decision. So all of that came from feedback from our travel partners, our Crystal Partner Advisory Council, and we redid the program. Didn't start like this, but it became this.
The travel advisors are using these as tools, and they're spreading the word. How, I know that what's the dialogue you want travel advisors to have with their clients?
So they are very much involved. So I have this Wednesday email, Crystal Spotlight with Carmen, and I talk about that promotion, that what I call travel partner stimulus. It's called Crystal Assured Savings Promotion. Crystal Assured Savings Promotion. I continue to use that as the entrance, right? So that they feel assurance and that they can communicate it. So we script it for them. And we've communicated. So I've got our sales team out there, literally now more than ever, educating our partners. The first 2 weeks, it was just to do outreach. Just call your travel. By the way, email is not a dialogue. Do not email them. It's not business as usual. People want to have human connection now more than ever. And so you have to pick up the phone. I want you talking to our travel partners. Don't sell them anything. We're not selling anything. What we're doing is making sure they're okay. I need them to be okay. And by the way, it's okay not to be okay. And if they're not okay, why? Let's talk through it. Let's help them. We need them and they need us. So this dialogue has been phenomenal because we have our weekly sales call and the team tells us, look, this is what they want. This is what they need. So we've paid commission, when we've canceled on the 100%, we'll pay the commission then. We'll pay it later on the future cruise credit, the 100% portion. We've created this initiative, Crystal at Home. It's about making people feel comfortable. So I kind of think this is a pause, and those who use this time wisely to learn brands, to get recertified, not allow fear to paralyze them, right? Stay positive and move forward because we're going to come out of it. So I'm going to give you an inside scoop right now, something that I'm supposed to announce on National Travel Advisor Day, which is next May 6th. Okay. We've made the decision to keep our thresholds, our revenue thresholds for commissions. We're not going to touch commissions going forward. We know 2020 is not a regular year. So for 21, we're pausing. I said to everybody, forget it. Whatever commission levels they're on. Whatever we need to do to continue to stimulate, whether it's bonus commissions, we're going to be open to everything and anything.
With all this optimism, let's talk about the fact that there's new ships and new itineraries.
Absolutely. Listen, I mentioned the World Cruise 2023. That's really Q1 and it's only one ship. But what we are doing right now, as a matter of fact, you must have ESP or something, because that was one of the calls we had today. It's a 2-hour session to finalize 2023 itineraries for both Symphony and Serenity, which will be launching one in June and one in July. So for us, it's business as usual. As a matter of fact, we're working harder from home than we would be when we're in the office, because at least we have that. I'm sure you are too. This is crazy. This is crazy. And it's from early morning to late at night, but we've prepared 2023 and we will launch 2023. We've launched 2021. The new river brochure is out. We have a digital version, and then we've actually allowed our river brochure to go direct to travel partners in their homes if they want it delivered. Perfect. Thank you, Alan. So for us at Crystal, new itineraries, and then the Endeavor, which, just because the shipyard isn't operating, and she's going to be delayed. It doesn't mean we will be getting the Endeavor, and we will have a christening of the ship, a blessing of the ship, whatever it is, and we will be in business. We've been waiting for this. We're super excited. And then we're also going to make sure that we celebrate our 30th anniversary, which officially is July 24th. And of course, we still have Crystal Air Cruises, right? That's based on charters. We've been using, companies have been chartering it for her cargo space, right? And so they've actually chartered the ship to go back and forth between Asia and the States to bring medical supplies, PPEs, all sorts of things. So you'd be surprised. We're very, very resilient, but we're actually very flexible. So all of the brand experiences will be back to work in their normal mode. But even in these modes, the aircraft is being used and chartered, which is amazing to me.
All right. Well, thank you
Excellent.
again.
Alan, are you kidding? Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity. My sincere pleasure.
And this is Alan Fine from Insider Travel Report.